Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Odessa the Dark Crusade. This episode is taking place just a few moments in the aftermath of what went down at the exhibition in the Artisans Guild Hall. Two Canaanites, both of Clan Lasombra, had endeavored to help another Canaanite of Clan Toreador diffuse a situation amongst the masses in order to quell any inquiries that might arise from the chaos that had just momentarily happened. So we will go to Lady Irene, and her and Memnon are both assisting Corridor Giles in his efforts. We can say that after the crowd dispersed, Giles had returned inside, and there are our two canines.
Yeah. Um. Irene looks a little more demure than, especially before. Before all this and with the attack and everything. Um. She like a little bit of that self assuredness that Lasombra always seemed to carry around with them. It's like gone from her, as she is very well realizing that you know she might be in for a real treat here. She- having defied both seneschal and prince there. uh, so she's just assisting Giles, working hard, and after it's all done, she'll just look at Memnon. She's not quite sure if he even wants to talk to her right now. Um, so it's sort of a shy look, like hi.
Oh, you might have to get Memnon's attention after uh, helping disperse the crowd, just putting it out there. Memnon would have gotten his sword back, but he's also trying to bind what wounds he has because ag damage
Oh,
for it. So yeah, he's probably just like sitting on the steps, just like wrapping whatever, putting anything back in place.
Irene has medicine too. She'll see that. She'll come over and kind of start ripping like, some strokes from her like underdress. Um, and we'll just kneel down next to him. Shall I help you with that?
Oh, thank you, Irene. I'm not one versed in aiding in wounds. I make the wounds, heal them.
Mhm.
If you're all, you said you have some scraps of fabric in your hand.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She has some bandages. Like left. It's not bandages. Like you can clearly see that it's from a way richer fabric than bandages would be made of. But yeah,
Oh, right. You said it was from her underdress,
it's
right?
from her underdress. Yeah, so you can't really see, um, like her dress self looks. Well, I mean, probably a bit banged up after the fight, but looks all in all intact. But it's yeah from her underdress, so it's probably like some white linen or perhaps even silk. Like she is noble, after all.
I don't think it would. Mhm. No, sorry, go on.
Hmm? Yes,
No, go
please.
on. Oh, I think Memnon would be able to discern that
Oh yeah.
obviously this came from somewhere from you, because definitely not rags. Um, Probably fine as hell silk,
Yeah.
or some other fabric. Um, you would just say, "You are too gracious, Irene. I just wish to stop making a mess of myself and blood getting all over the place."
That Irene will start to uh, wrap the bandages around the wounds and yeah, like push some bones back inside. No, it's like burn marks, right? There were burn marks.
Were they burn marks?
I don't know.
Okay. I wasn't really sure the nature of the damage, but I just knew it was ag.
I knew
Okay.
it was ag too. Like I figured it was like burn marks, but I'm not sure. Like, but yeah. So she'll wrap the bandages around like the wounds that are clearly visible, especially since they're not bleeding. Um, and push back what needs to be pushed back in case you know.
Yeah.
She's not like the most skilled in medicine, but she knows the basics. So
Fair enough. It's not like I'm going to die on the operating table.
no,
uh,
it helps that you're
um,
already dead. So
yeah.
and she'll just kind of smile and look up at him as she's working. You weren't making a mess of yourself. You did what anyone should have done in the situation. I thought you were very brave.
um, Thank you, Irene. Your praise is always welcomed. But I see that I have far more training that needs party. I do not like this no weaponry allowed. It's just easy targets.
Mm, I think all of us can be dangerous without the use of weaponry, and agreed, perhaps even more dangerous with. It makes sense that in a place where you do not want to fight to happen, given some of our rather volatile natures, it makes sense to not allow weapons.
Yes, but it is weapons that we cannot see, which are the most dangerous.
I don't think your weapons would have made much difference.
Would have made 3 feet of difference. Not that I'm sure that they're using feet as a measurement. Time period and place, but yeah. Anyway, um, but Memnon will like once you're done bandaging him up, Memnon will rise his feet with his sword. He'll offer you a hand to stand up. You said that you were kneeling, right? You were kneeling
Hmm.
down. So, yeah, he'll put a hand out to take yours and give you a lift up if you needed it.
She'll stand up and kind of dusts off her skirts.
So, you yourself had made a very bold move in there. Are you confident that it will not come to haunt you? To pardon the pun.
I will take. I will accept what's coming. I know what I did was wrong.
Well,
I've still felt that
you.
it. I would have done it again. Perhaps sooner, though. I was torn between wanting to obey my elders and feeling that it was not the right way, and I did not quite know how to act. I realized when the fight started how wrong it was, and
Well, Irene, I don't think anyone would be shocked that you don't follow orders. But that is not quite who you are. You made a choice based on your conscience. I don't think one could be faulted necessarily for that alone. But I am neither the prince nor the seneschal. know how they will react, but you and I were somewhat familiar of this wishing woman. I think as long as you are within her good graces, I think you'll be fine. You did just see her display of power.
Yes. I mean, the display of power was obvious before to those who were at Palace when the previous prince was under attack. She was part of that. There was really no way that we could have done much. Perhaps the seneschal, the prince, but not us.
And yet we did do something, didn't we?
I
Sorry, did I
suppose.
cut it there? Oh,
No, you didn't.
okay. Um,
I just hope some
I,
good from it.
mhm.
I just hope, yeah. I just hope some good came from it.
Perhaps it will. Um, Memnon's gonna kind of like gesture you to walk with him just a little ways away.
Mhm. Yeah, she'll walk with him.
Um, maybe like maybe I would say when you guys are like 20 feet or
Mhm.
kilometers away. I don't know if I have ratio here. Um, he'll say, and he even says this still like in whispers. He'll say, "Let me ask you something, Irene. Why didn't the prince give the order to stop sooner?"
I don't know. Memnon, the prince gave me the order to go and talk to her, to hear her out.
So, would you think it possibility that tonight wasn't a test of the wishing woman, but a test of those in her court?
No, well, I don't know. What I've what I've learned from her. Don't know if I ever told you. She was, she is or was part of that group that attacked the palace. Each one of them has their own goals, but they all felt that that was a way to achieve their goals. Her goal seems to be entirely altruistic. She wants to help humanity. She does not like, she disapproves very badly of how our kind has been treating humanity like they're cattle, like we don't care about their lives. And I understand where she's coming
And
from.
yes, I can understand the sentiment too. I don't think I've necessarily introduced you to all of my ghouls properly. Well, he isn't a ghoul of mine. There's a boy. He's a son of two of my ghouls. He was scarred by the plague. Before this curfew, I had wished to see the wishing woman. Having seen her work her miracles, I was hoping that she could do something for these scars. A terrible thing for him to have to grow up with the rest of his life.
Hmm.
But I had hoped at the same time that would have sent a message. While she does have this altruism to help the rest of humanity, a war between Cainites is not good for any humans. If you are left unscathed, that is what I've come to know every night I see that child.
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
I hope that's something the wishing woman would understand as well.
I'm not sure. She seems to be very much in the mindset that it is us that need to protect humans, not the other way around.
You see Memnon nod at this. Yes, we do have a place above them in the order of things, but just as, for lack of a better comparison, a pet, though it serves us, we still are its protector.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Irene, I never quite understood after knowing you this long why you aren't a luminary yourself. You have the drive, you have the goals, you have the ambition and the dedication. He just trails off.
To be on the Road of Kings, you mean?
Oh, yes. I understand that you have a great compassion for humanity. Perhaps a capacity that is diminished by the pragmatism of the Road of Kings. But I think when all things are considered, there has to be some practicality, a give and take, a weighing of the scales, and judgments must be made. You do have sound judgment.
If I have sound judgment now, why would I change who and what I am? I am. My sire has. Well, I follow his path. He has shown me that it is not. This is not bad to remain who you are and to remain true to who you are. I prefer not to have my Cainite side take that away from me. I feel there is strength in the road that I follow, the path that I take, being close or as close as I can to that which we inherently still come from, are, in a way, you see humans as our ancestors. I take pride in that. I am proud of what we were. Children of God, I think in a way we still are.
That is admirable. And do not take what I say as a oh, I can't pronounce that fucking word. I'm not trying. I'm not trying to preach to you. Is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Proselytize. I think that's the word. But anyway, uh, nonetheless, what if what you are is more than just yourself? What if you are is the will of God? What if what you are is a voice for the people. I understand where you're coming from, Irene. I myself am the culmination of all my ancestors before me. I myself am also the shepherd to my people. What if there has to be more than just the self, if the self is more than just our own?
There's a part of us that is new to us when we take our first steps in this life. It's commonly referred to as the beast. Now, I know everybody treats it differently. I'm not denying its existence, but it is what separates us from God's children. I still prefer to remain as close to them as I can. I'm not denying that there is some horror inside me, a roaring beast that is just hungry, always hungry for more. But I will not say that I prefer to deny it, but for me, it works. When I hear preachers, priests, monks quote from the Bible, and I hear the tales about a man or a woman defying Satan or fighting against their sin, that is how I feel it works for me, controlling that raging hunger that lies inside me. I prefer to stick to the words of God as my guidance and take on as humane an appearance as I can. It brings me closer to those that I'm trying to help, people who live in the city. Whether they be Canaanites or humans, as long as I can see some good in them, I feel I can connect with them. I feel I can help them by being the best that I can be.
I can understand that. I can understand remaining. What's the word? Pious. Yeah, sorry. I can understand remaining pious. All I'm suggesting is if you truly desire to make a change, you need to accept that that the reins might have to reside in your hands.
But they do not right now. There are so many factors that take the reins from our hands, whether they are orders from our superiors or situations that make us change what we want to do.
Of course, there are always factors. But as you say, right now, and what do we have more than enough of? Time.
Sorry, what was the last bit you said? You kind of cut out there for me.
I'm sorry.
No, it's
Uh,
cool.
Memnon said, and what do we have more than enough of but time?
Let's hope so. I don't think any one of us really knows how much time God has planned out for us. I mean, I think you and I have both seen or at least heard of, our kind getting destroyed. We
Yes.
are not without death, even though if nothing bad happens, we can be here forever, as far as we know.
Yes. In that one regard, for us, death is a circumstance, not an eventuality.
Yes.
But in all other matters, what else has been new? As I asked before, did you fare through the flood very well?
I've been assisting the servants in the nobles' quarter who were sent out by, well, the nobles to build up a wall. Although it did, in the end, well, it helped something, the work of servants there. In the end, I had to send them to safe places to stop from lives getting lost on behalf of expensive carpets.
Expensive carpets, you say?
It was clear that the nobles' quarter was not in as much difficulty as the other quarters were. The nobles themselves were sitting high and dry. Only thing that would have been ruined, well, would have been the carpets. That's why they send out servants to stay out there for as long as necessary, even threatening them. I could see the fear in some of their eyes as they did not know whether they would be safe if they would return before the storm was over, or if they would die by being swept away by the raging river. Once it was clear that there was not much that they could do anymore, I sent them back to find a place that they would be safe in. If they did not have a safe place at their house, I offered my own.
Hmm.
After that, I crossed the river and helped out at the bazaar. They needed more help. It was more of a predicament there. What about yourself?
Hmm. I secured my neighborhood, well, that of my neighbors, essentially my herd, and, well, whoever else was lucky enough to be in my vicinity. We were able to construct a hastily put together dam, but it helped keep the flooding to a minimal. I did check on Omar, him being direct neighbor, able to gather some of the people there and do the same. But there was an explosion we heard, bridge the between the Merchants District and Riverside. A lot of people from Riverside were up to their waists in water. They had wanted to come through, but the city watch of the Merchants District had barred their access. I can understand why they did so. A group flooding in their size all at once,
Yes.
pandemonium and chaos. I jumped the wall and led a few of the mob back towards Riverside to find higher ground. We were able to find a charitable family that would take the lot in. That's an effing fucking lie, and I will roll for it. Hold
Then we
on.
still need to. Then we still need to set up somewhere. You want to just continue in Dice Roller 3?
Sure. Memnon's not gonna tell Irene that he just broke into some random people's house.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh god! Oh no! I'm down a die because my injuries. Hold on. I think you can only heal like one ag damage at night, right?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. So even if I had enough blood, I'd still be down one die.
Yeah.
So that is
Don't worry, Irene is not as good in seeing eyes as you've been telling them.
not too bad.
Oh, nice. Nope, she doesn't see shit. I told you. Like most of my perception empathy scores when it comes to lies, I failed.
Yes. So yeah, that's Memnon's story, and he's sticking to it.
Irene will nod in appreciation. Says, I think that's commendable, and I'm pleased to hear that there are people who are still willing to help out those who have nothing. Should we should truly try and make the city hospitable for all.
This this event with the flooding might also be a fortuitous moment. I was talking to the people that was helping me in my neighborhood. What the city needs is an extensive underground canal. If there were flood rains or the river had flooded, something that could help relieve some of the stress. The dirt and debris that the waste built up in the floodwaters did more damage than the waters themselves, possibly. I think if this could get some real backing and momentum, it could bring a lot of work and elevate the health of the citizens of the city. But that is perhaps a lofty ideal.
It's not bad to have lofty ideals. Do you have a plan ready for this?
Oh, unofficially, I have been putting together a plan to have my own private tunnel for myself, with, of course, without the knowledge of the mortal authorities. But I think that, well, seeing that a need for such a tunnel with this specific service, if they would back it, then I'm sure me as its architect would have the knowledge of secret entries that others would not know about.
I can understand you wanting to have some secret entrances. If you could present your plan to me, I can probably get you some backing from the nobles. If that is what you want, of course.
Well, I'm sure that they would appreciate sewer system in their own neighborhood. Perhaps by you. Memnon winks.
I suppose that could be a thing, but I only have a small section of the nobles' quarter.
Well, to the extent of the tunnel I was imagining, just happened to be roughly the same size as my own domain.
Mm-hmm.
It it is not something I imagine to be luxurious, practical, uh, ever so tall, ever so wide, 6 feet high, 3 feet wide, just enough to allow passage in secret. But a functioning tunnel would require a little bit more funds and materials and design, and especially it might, if I can be honest with you, Irene,
Please.
it might ruffle the feathers of the Nosferatu if they're not brought into this properly. I had to strike a bargain with Primogen Ali in order to have my tunnel built without it being, how you say, a breach in etiquette.
Oh, it's up to me to roll my manipulations of the future.
All
Oh, fucking hell! Only one success.
right, hold on. Let's see if I can get this with just a
It's
reduced
more
dice
for
pool.
her. It's more for her reaction than for her saying anything. She's not gonna
Mm.
lie or something. But
I got one more success, so whatever it is, it's probably minuscule.
yeah, okay. So what he'll see is there's like a look of disgust on Irene's face as he mentions the Nosferatu Primogen.
Okay,
Like she's
okay,
trying to
okay.
hide it. She's trying to compose herself a little, but yeah, yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
She does not like
Um,
that guy at all.
okay. Picking up that very little bit, but I'm certain that if the influence of the nobles and the demand for more sewer systems, perhaps district by district, or area by area, or in popular opinion, I'm certain that the Primogen could understand the need of the people before him.
I'm willing to back up this project. Yeah, Primogen will surely see the sense of it, and if not, then perhaps that says more about the Nosferatu Primogen than about the rest of us
Hmm.
or the plan itself. I've gotten to know this man as someone who is out to look for confrontation and is preferably trying to find a confrontation with those in weaker positions than his own. I have no objection of working through some politics to let him see that those who are below him still have their uses.
Hmm.
Should not simply be left as is, especially not in Elysium.
Of course. It's why I went to him at all. I was warned about this idea when I brought it up to just a couple of other people. You know them, don't worry. But here I thought, well, why not turn a potential problem into a potential solution?
Mm-hmm.
Some of the Nosferatu appearances making hunting difficult. Having people at work underground could open up some opportunities to facilitate their hunting so long as they hunt humanely. By bringing Ali into the fold and offering him something that is a boon to the rest of his clan, and all he would have to do is play nice. It would be unwise for him to do anything else.
Yes, it might be interesting that we will reach out hands to them where they would not expect it.
Exactly. I had to accept the fact that there would be Nosferatu below my domain. Therefore, I should make them neighbors. At least that's the rationale.
Sorry, what was the last thing? You broke up again. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I said that's the rationale I saw.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense, and I understand. And it's true that it is a disturbing idea that they crawl around everywhere in a fashion, hiding under everyone's domain.
I'm going to execute my own tunnel in my own domain, unassisted, just as a test to see once it's finished, then I can give you a proper estimation what it might take so I can draft a true plan. And in case I run any other problems, I can find their solutions. I'll make sure that plans I bring you concrete. Oh, wait, no, I can't. Can I say concrete?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if that word existed. I'll make sure that they are efficient, concrete, and solid. I would not let any embarrassment come to you because you entrusted in me.
Well, I have to trust on your expertise in this, but what I've heard so far, it sounds solid already. So, yes, if you could work out the details and send the plan my way, I will make sure to present it to the other noble houses. Might be able to get the backing of a few of them at least.
Hmm. Personally, Irene, I would be, I would gladly, and it would be an honor to have a tunnel for you and for whatever portion of the quarter of nobles that would pay for it. I think in a way, I think in a way, we should let every district decide if they can come together and afford their own. There are people out there that have very little, let alone a chamber pot to piss in. Having something built, whether by their hand or by some other effort, that is an accomplishment. And that is just as good for the soul as, well, anything else.
Of course. And it would help put people back into business again, have them earn some copper pieces, perhaps even some silver, which would in turn be helpful for the city itself. But that would be up to the noble houses to invest in this.
Mm, yes. If I were able to get the people in each district, volunteers or those the costs, it could mitigate the entire the cost of the entire project.
could reach out to rich merchants as well. Rich merchants have little to do in a city where there's no money flowing. So
That is
if
true.
the merchants could invest in it as well, they might see their businesses bloom again instead of dying out and forcing them to leave the city.
This is true. And speaking of rich merchants, I saw a friend not too long ago. That
Which,
merchant, hmm?
hmm? Please go on.
uh, that merchant Armando.
Ah, I see. Well, he has already dealt with, well, you mostly. So if he still finds that dealing agreeable, then that is an easy way in. Also, we should approach our clanmate, Omar Shadid. He has some sway
Mm,
under the
yes.
merchants, which we could use for this project.
Oh, I'm certain. I'm certain. But I was bringing up Armando because he has accepted my proposal by adjoining our houses. My ghoul, Yoren, is, for all intents and purposes, my heir.
Hmm.
So he will be marrying one of Armando's daughters. I
That is
would.
lovely.
Ah, I'm glad you think so. So I hope that you would be there at the wedding when it's time.
Of course. Nothing would please me more.
I think it would be a great opportunity for us to extend some goodwill, some good charity. There's nothing like free food at a wedding.
I suppose you would like for me to provide this free food.
I am not asking for a handout. I am merely presenting you an opportunity.
Ah, you sound like a true businessman there.
Jesus, I'm sorry, Saskia. You're right. Who am I fucking kidding? I'm sorry. I completely subterfuge myself.
It's fine.
um, yes. Memnon, however, no, 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 Irene. I had thought that it might be a good opportunity where only my clanmates who I trust, and perhaps Thorvald, he's earned my trust. A select group of vampires, then to say, we help put on a wedding that would be remembered by the locals. It doesn't have to reach so far to every district, but somewhere. And we can have our pickings of these opportunities, as most people enjoy flocking to a very good wedding when there's music and wine and food. We could provide some goodwill and good fortune and help direct things.
I will see what I can do.
Well, even if you choose to do nothing, Irene, I would still like you to be there. This marriage would not have been possible without your aid.
Well, I'm always glad to be of service. Though I think I can arrange at least a big part of the feast. That is no problem, and even if I don't get anything out of it, I'm happy to do it for my clanmates.
You see this look of consternation on Memnon's face. Like, what is wrong with you? I'm presenting you an opportunity to
I think
scheme.
I think I think a lot of people are considering Irene the person that they regularly ask, "What is wrong with you?" Like that sums up Irene. What is wrong with you? Yeah.
Yeah. So Memnon will just shake his head. As you wish, my lady. Are you waiting for someone as he gestures back to the artisans' hall?
Merely waiting to see if there's anything more I can do. I feel I've made the situation worse and then better, and in the end, I am not sure whether I did wrong or right. I want to make sure that everything stays all right.
And let's see. On one hand, the worst possible Seneschal. Other hand, being the best, you intervened with someone who could have destroyed us all. Somewhere in the middle, I think you'll find yourself.
Yeah. I don't know if it's best to leave now and await further instructions or whether I should stay and, well,
Well, Irene, you do remember where my house is, yeah?
yes, of course.
If you need a horse to get out of town, welcome to it.
I think I'll be all right. I can. I don't think that they would immediately try to, well, punish me that severely that I would need to escape the city. I hope at least.
Still, you know where you can find one if it comes to that.
Thank you.
So,
Do you have any problems getting home? I can walk you. I think they'll be busy talking for quite some time, and
oh, no, no, I have no troubles, but if you just wish to walk with me, that is fine. I now have my writ of passage, being hound of the sheriff.
that is good.
Another reason I acted in the manner that I did.
Mm, of course. I have not congratulated you yet, but I am happy to see you progress in the city so fast. Being a house is good news.
Memnon chortles. uh, all I wanted to do was craft my own tools and weapons. This is but a, though a contradiction, it is but a buffer between me and everyone else.
Well, is it an unlock buffer?
Unwelcomed, no. Troublesome, yes.
If I can give you any hand in any of the tasks that you need to perform for the sheriff, feel free to send a letter or a messenger my way.
Well, have you looked into the murders that were going on within the guild hall at all? I'm
Yes.
trying to put some information together.
What is it that you wish to know? I first reached out to Aldrich to investigate in the matter, and later on we acquired the help of Merchant of Bones and Sir Acleos
Hmm.
of the Timici.
Personally, what I would want to know is about the victims. I want to know if there's a correlation between each of them. If there is a method to who our culprit is picking. How come he chooses who he does, where they're at, or if it's just a matter of opportunity. Knowing that difference
Hmm.
would illuminate things.
I understand that. I am afraid I cannot answer you. I can give you the motives of, well, not necessarily the motives, but what we found out was that these victims were all missing body parts. And it seemed to be some sort of an occult murder, some sort of a ritual. We got our hands on one of the bodies, and we found out that it was not necessarily the arm that was missing that was important. But on inspection of the body, we found that it was the heart that was missing as well.
And this
And that
was
was
only
the more important part. The heart had been removed
and
from.
this was only one body
Yes,
that or was this
yes. No, this was the latest body that. When it was found, I asked some of my friends in City Watch to, well, to be able to inspect it. And we found out that the heart had been removed with some precision. It was not some butcher at work, or it was almost it. You would have almost been able to mistake it for the craft of the Timici, but it was not. There was, I believe, there was a slight scar.
hmm.
Later on, though, we went with the Merchant of Bones. At that point, we had to dig up that same body, but he was able to perform some sort of ritual on it. Have you ever heard of a demon in the city?
I have been hearing rumors.
This demon, we fought it once back in Omar Shadid's shop. Um, Me, Madeline, Ulrich, we were all there. Well, Ulrich was not there, but he came to our aid when a demon attacked us. Attacked Madeline mostly. When the Merchant of Bones performed his ritual on his body, he found that this man had been lured to a cellar in the guild halls. After the
Cellar?
owner, yes, a cellar of a house, a basement basically. After the owner had left said basement, he had the man got into the house, went to the basement, and stepped in some sort of a ritual. It was there that he encountered something. an entity that matched the description, or well, when the Merchant of Bones gave us this description, it matched what I'd seen the demon to look like when we fought it.
So, if I understand you right, the victim had entered into the cellar
Mm-hmm.
of which he did not own.
Yeah. Yes. He didn't seem to be going there by his own choice, I believe, but I'm not 100% sure of that. Perhaps you should ask the Merchant of Bones. He was the one who saw these things and could provide you with more clarity regarding the matter.
Yes, there. That is a start. It is a very good start. I was telling Thurville the other night, if we can get enough people together and just make 1 or 2 nights of a concerted effort of sweeping the area, of sweeping the entire district, we might uncover something. A cellar is a good start. Not most people on their own can afford a cellar.
No, we knew who owned the house.
Oh? Who did?
Primogen of Clan Toreador.
Mhm. Okay.
I We
Interesting.
questioned her
Mhm.
somewhat, for as far as we could, of course. I've asked her some questions that she would she would have needed to lie if she was aware of what happened in her basement. I don't think she's aware of what's happening.
She owns the house, but is that her haven?
I I do not know Margot well enough to know whether that is her haven or not.
I'll ask her. I'll be that direct, but I'll keep it polite. There is a worthwhile distinction. I myself have thought about expanding the property that I own. If just because, whether by mortal law or canite law, I possessed a property where some crime was committed, it would not be right to think that I was a culprit of the crime. We should give her that much benefit of the doubt.
Yes, and I agree with you. I do not think, like I said, I do not think that she is aware of what's happening there. Perhaps she is now, I am not sure, but I have not spoken to her about it. But I, well, at least a couple of us are aware of what Merchant of Bones saw, and I'm pretty sure that the sheriff would be one of them.
These rituals, there is a method to it. If we can discern what the end goal was, what they were trying to achieve, that would help too. I know that we're running on very few details to speak of.
If I may make a suggestion, because I think you as Hound would be able to do so, see if you can get access to her basement. Bring some people along, some of whom might be useful with having enough aspects so that they could read the room, so to speak. I
Hmm.
would suggest perhaps Hakim, the Assamites. He was useful before in the fire in the Noble's Quarter.
I will take your suggestion to heart.
If you want to, I don't mind accompanying you as well.
I never mind your company, Irene.
Perhaps if he misses something, I might be able to pick it up.
We will see. I will give the Primogen the due respect of simply of making this a formal request. I think I should ask her to come with us. Would you recommend that course of action?
I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't think that she is in any way guilty of what is going on. On the other hand, I am not sure whether she might be used without her knowledge.
Yes, that is my concern too. Even if, at worst, she was under the influence of someone else against her will. After seeing her capabilities tonight, I would not want to put anyone in unneeded danger if what was controlling her, if she was under someone else's influence, was to manifest with us alone in her own dwelling.
I understand. I'm afraid I don't have. I can see it going very right with her being there or very wrong with her being there. I have no advice in this matter.
Mm. Well, however the dice are rolled is how they will land. We'll see.
It is her place, so I don't think we could refuse her if she wants to come along.
That is true. There was out of character. There was something else I wanted to mention to you. I just forgot about it though. Oh yes, 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 yes. There have there was something that I had acquired.
Oh?
I don't know if you have any appreciation for precious gems and stones, do you?
Well, I appreciate them, but I am not sure if I could recognize a jewel from a colored piece of glass that shines prettily. I will be quite honest in that.
Hmm. Right now, it resides in a colleague's library. I'm sorry, study, I should say. When I get my hands on it, I'd like you to take a look at it. It is something
Hmm.
otherworldly.
I see. Well, you have my interest. I would be very happy to take a look at it.
Well, then, Lady Irene, um, unless I can invite you in for supper, I will leave you to your own devices. I should clean off these wounds, and I am so thankful and at the same time sorry for the uh, how do I say this? I don't want to say that I ruined your dress, but essentially it was the cause of ruining your dress.
Yeah. It is just a dress. It can be replaced.
Perhaps we should get you one made of leather, something a little bit more sturdy.
I do have an armor that is, well, but it's not something that I usually wear. And I did not expect, like you, to have need for it tonight.
Oh, I did not expect it either. I just wanted to show it off.
Well, that is fair enough. So, Mammon, I will bid you a, well, whatever's left of the night. I hope it'll be more peaceful than it has been up till now.
For some reason, Lady Irene, I don't think it will be.
Best of luck then.
That we can hope for.
Irene will curtsy and she'll head off. Probably actually in the direction of the noble's quarters to fetch her horse and to make her ride to Timuran.
And yes, Memnon will go back into his he'll go back into his haven and he'll just converse with his ghouls until the sunrise, or unless there's something else that happens. My God, who knows? But
Let's hope not.
yeah. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching and for the players playing. This was Odessa the Dark Crusade, Season 2. We will see you again.